Hey guys, welcome to the first official video of 2021. I'm Khierstyn, so if you're new here, nice to meet you. On this channel, we cover e-commerce tips, Kickstarter product launches, and really, you're in the right spot if you already sell physical products online or you are considering selling physical products online. You really want to build a brand, the customer relationship as well. So, with that being said, it's really fun. I want to start off with the story. So my first call this year, I spent this first week really getting the team aligned on goals, which is, by the way, this is exactly what this video is about today, is how to set goals and stick to them for the new year. And there's a reason why I waited until 10 days or so into 2021 to release a goal setting video. So we'll get to that in a bit. But back to my story. My first phone call back, one of our marketing guys he joked around to say, well, 2021, we had 5 awesome days. And then on the 6th, well, you know what happened on the 6th. No need to relive national news. But it's just really funny. So 2021 seems to be off to an interesting start. And the good part about 2021 is that 2020, I think all of us, everyone was surprised with things that happened or things that didn't happen. And now I think that we are stronger going into 21. We are resilient. And I don't know about you, but my attitude toward this year is bring it. Like you, I think 2020 for us, we had an awesome year. We saw a lot of growth opportunities. A lot of opportunities do happen in down markets. And I'm just really pumped to go into 2021 knowing that I'm ready for anything that gets thrown at us. And my attitude now is that anything that looks like it could be a roadblock moving forward, the craziness of the world or whatever, I need to see it and encourage you to see it as an opportunity. So 2020 for me was a really great exercise in reframing positive things. So reframing what would seem like negative things into positive opportunities. And now that we've had a little bit of practice with that, I'm really pumped for this year. So this video is about setting goals. We did a live, a goal setting workshop with some of our mastermind students, and we set a framework around this. And so this framework is something you may not be familiar with. It's the SMART goal framework. And even if you are familiar with it, I think that this is a really great litmus test or checklist that you should look at your goals, because by this point, the reason I chose to release a goal setting video on the 11th or 12th of January, when we're already into the year, is because by now, how many of you are still sticking with your New Year's resolutions? How many of you are still excited about 2021? Seems a little negative, but I think that going into this and setting goals and revisiting goals at this point, you're starting to see points where your goals may have been too ambitious, or you're starting to not follow through with certain habits or resolutions that you said that you would start on the 1st. Okay, so looking at setting goals, this is a framework and best practices that I want to talk to you about in terms of what I found work for me and our clients to hit some goals. So the very first thing we look at when setting a goal, I'll just take you through what we did for our team this year. So I remember in previous years, I'd set myself up for failure by doing this one thing. I would create, and let me know in the comments if this is you, but I would create a laundry list of goals that is just I had 5 fitness goals, 10 finance goals. I had, a list of 50 goals. And by the first month of January gone, I would have forgotten 95% of those goals. And the odds of me actually hitting those goals by the end of the year were slim to none. And the reason is I set myself up for failure because I set way too many goals. So the thing that we did now with the team is I went into the holiday break in December, took 2 weeks away, and my goal was to set 3 business goals and 3 personal goals. This means that I had to get really clear on what my priorities are as a business owner and what I want to focus on as a human. It does encompass things like professional goals, financial goals, relationship goals, spiritual goals. And I had to get really clear on what the most important goals to me were. So that's really why I look to set and get really clear on only 3 business and 3 personal goals. And so I encourage you to do that. If you're at a point where maybe you haven't even set goals for the year or resolutions or whatever, but first take a look at that. Take a look at your goals. First off, have you written them down? Second, do you have too many goals? If you have too many goals, can you go through that and do an honest assessment with yourself, like a gut check, to see which of those goals do you really, really, really care about and which ones are kind of like nice to have. You think you should have it because your wife keeps telling you to lose that 10 pounds of belly fat. Like, what is really important to you? And then your goals need to be squared around that. So when it comes to SMART goals, so SMART is SMART. Fun fact, I used to be a contractor. So that's actually how I got my start in university. You know, it's a whole other video, but really I learned how to run a business from selling and managing painters, and I've done multiple 7 figures painting houses. Fun fact. So when it came time, and every single year at the beginning of the year, we would look at, okay, so what do I want to sell this year? What do I want to create? And it would usually, the framework that I learned are SMART goals, because when you look at a goal, we're going to take a couple of examples today to see like what is the right way to approach a goal, or not the right way, but like in this framework, versus what is a way that is maybe not specific enough or not a way that is measurable. So an example of a not so strong goal is, I want to lose weight. Okay. But if we say that in a different way, I want to lose 20 pounds by December 31st, 2021. So the difference between those goals is that one is loose, it's not specific, you don't know by when you want that to happen, and you don't even know really if that's a goal that you really care about. So when you, first off, simplify your goals into 2 or 3 business and 2 or 3 personal that really, really matter to you, the next thing you want to do is you want to get really clear by defining parameters of what it means for if you've hit that goal or not. So if you look at a goal, you need to be able to tell by the end of the year or by the end of whatever date that we talk about, you need to know if you have actually been successful with that or not. And when you set your goal saying, I want to lose weight, the problem with saying it that way is that you don't actually know what success means with that. So how much weight do you want to lose? When do you want to lose it? Why does this matter to you, right? So these are just a few things. So let's take a look at the SMART goal framework, and then you could take this and run with it for your goals. So SMART, S is specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, T for time-bound or timely. Okay, so let's break down each one of them. S is for specific. So if we take a weight loss goal, I love talking about weight loss because it's very tangible in terms of numbers. Or you could say, I want to make a certain amount of money, I want to purchase a property, etc., right? So when we look at setting goals, a specific goal, I want to lose weight, is not specific. But when you say, I want to lose 20 pounds, that is specific because there's a number tied to it. Or you say, I want to make an extra $10,000 in revenue by June. Okay, it's specific. The next one is measurable. So measurable is a way to look at a goal and analyze it to see, were we successful or not? So in business, a common thing you could look at is if your goal is to have happier customers, a metric you can use to measure that is a customer satisfaction 5-star program. So then you can put in a system that says, all right, we will measure it so that after every client interaction or every customer, we're going to ask for a review. And our goal, we say that we want more happy customers, gets redefined as we want our customer satisfaction rating to be at least a 4.5 out of 5 by the end of December this year, right? So that's how we get measurable. We have to put a metric around it so that we can measure and track our progress to, in fact, see if the goal was successful or not. The third one is achievable. So when you look at a goal, you do want the goal, this is more, we do a gut check. So goal has to be achievable or attainable. I don't like the word impossible because I feel that everything is possible, but with your goal, you have to look at it and make sure that it's something that stretches you out of your comfort zone. So your goal being achievable should be enough that it scares you, but it needs to be somewhere between realistic and impossible. If it's too realistic, too easy, you're not going to be motivated to make significant change toward that goal. But if it's impossible, for example, if Elon Musk decided to start SpaceX today and say, within 6 months we want to be in Mars, like at Mars, on Mars, however you say that, that's probably not realistic because it's probably impossible because when you break down the milestones required to take him from sketching up a rocket to figuring out what it takes to get us to Mars, that's like a multi-year process. And there's a lot of complexity that goes into a project and a goal like that, okay? Not trying to compare your goals to getting to Mars, very different ballpark here, but you do need to look at your goal and make sure that it's not too easy, but it's not too impossible. Me being an Ironman triathlete, if I had set my sights on doing an Ironman my first year in fitness, like my first year before I even ran a 5K, like that would be a little bit of a stretch for me because the amount required to get my body to an Ironman level fitness is not a commitment I wanted within 12 months. So for me, I worked toward an Ironman fitness level over the course of 3 to 4 years by doing a gradual build, gradual goal setting, okay? So when you look at achievable, you want to see, all right, is this goal something that gets me excited about? It's not too easy, but it's not impossible. It's in the realm of stretching you out of your comfort zone, okay? The fourth one is relevant. So I like relevant because, right, sorry, just had to pause the video so Dan can take one of the dogs to the park. Other fun, exciting tangent is really excited to say we bought a house. So what you're going to see of my 1-bedroom condo is that I will have a recording studio, private room, so that we're not going to have background interruptions from coexisting with another human and 2 dogs. So really pumped for that in the coming weeks. And by the way, if you have any recommendations or thoughts for what I should put in this office, I'm looking for inspiration for YouTube studio and, things you can see behind me as well. So really pumped about that. But where were we? We were at relevant. So relevant, I take this as different to what the traditional SMART goal framework is, where relevant is defined by mindtools.com as reasonable, realistic, results-based. But I like to look at relevant in terms of making sure that this goal is something that you really care about. So I was having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she's like, I'm trying to figure out what to focus on this year, because she had a lot of ideas, and I just asked her, well, what's most important to you? What is your top priority? Is your top priority to improve relationships with your family? Is your top priority to make more money? Is your top priority to grow your business? And taking a look at and asking ourselves and doing a true, a really good inventory of what is most important to you. You want to take an 80-20 approach to what you want to do, because I don't know if you've ever been in a room where people are just listing off things that they want to do, and half the things they're not really serious about, but then there's a handful of gold nuggets that they're really passionate about. I want you to take that approach where instead of trying to list out for your goals everything you think you want to do, start with a brain dump and then figure out what is the 20% of those goals that's going to make 80% of the impact in your life. And so that's really where we come down to those 3 goals. And so when you list out those 3 goals, when I think and when I look at relevant, I look at, are these really the goals that matter the most to me right now? Are these goals reflective of the priorities in my life right now that I want? And it's also important to know with this that priorities change. Like, you could get 4 months into something and realize that you need to pivot your goals. That's totally cool. Goals are there that are meant to be adjusted, to be pivoted, okay? But you want to make sure that the goals really matter to you, because that's where change happens. Because on the days that you don't want to go to the gym, on the days that you don't want to call your best friend, on the days that you don't want to do the key activities required to achieve that goal, you can dig deeper knowing that there's a really good reason that you set that goal, and that goal does really matter to you. Okay, so that's kind of my spin on relevant. Like, is it relevant to your life and to your priorities? And so that is different, I think, to what is traditionally thought of as relevant for SMART goals. And then last but not least is my favorite part, time bound. So I'm known for this. I think that, like, I'm super annoying with this. Anytime a friend is like, oh, I really want to do this thing. I want to run that race. I want to go to Costa Rica. I just want to lose weight. I just want to learn that language. I really just want to get my business off the ground. I'm really sick of working for someone, and I just want to start that business. And I'm always asking, when do you want to do that? Because let's face it, things that you want to do, these goals that you say you want, are just pipe dreams, or you're basically, without you having like a time commitment that will be done by, you're basically saying, well, at some point in the next 40 years, I'm going to learn that language. But again, if we go back to the top 3 goals that you look at for business and personal, if these are things you want in your life, then you need to set like time around when you want that. So for example, one of my personal goals this year is to run my 2nd Ironman in August. And so that's time bound, because I'm not just saying I want to run an Ironman. I'm saying I want to complete my 2nd Ironman by August 2021, or by the end of August 2021, because that's when the race is, on August 23rd, I think. Need to double check that, but still a ways away. But it's time bound, okay? Because time bound gives you, I forget the word. It's time bound gives you accountability that it needs to be done by that date. It also allows you to look at the end goal and by when you want to achieve that goal, and allow you to break it down into what steps are now required starting today to take action toward that. Okay, so that is those are SMART goals, and whenever I look to set goals, I look to put it through that filter to see and make sure that I've truly defined the right goals for me that are reflective of my priorities, and I make sure that I'm as specific, and I have a way to measure it, and I have a way to track it, and I know by when it needs to be done, so that by the time that time comes, I know whether I have been successful or not. The last thing I want to say is I have this like weird confession, and so let me know in the comments if this is you too. I love on YouTube in my spare time sometimes watching these body transformation videos where someone's lost a bunch of weight, and there's one success mindset or habit that these guys have that I want to share with you, because this is very, you can use this across all goals. So people that, when you're really overweight, and when these, this person or these people, they've finally hit that rock bottom and they're ready to make a big change. And they go on over the course of a year or two completely changing their lifestyle, their eating habits, their gym habits, and they go and they lose 100, 200 pounds. And why people, they've been able to make such a massive change in their life is not because they hit rock bottom, but it was because they identified how much weight they had to lose. So they have, at the end of their journey, they have a goal weight. And they were able to look at their weight loss in terms of tiny steps that compound over time. So when you look at this journey where these people over a year or two, they lose so much weight and completely change their life, and they're so happy and confident because they've hit probably one of the biggest goals they're ever going to hit, right? Or they're going to hit, or they have hit health-wise, right? And it's just amazing to see that transformation and how much grit and determination it took them to be able to make such a significant change like that. But one thing I want to leave you with is the reason why we don't shoot bigger, okay? Right? So when you look at a weight loss goal, such as losing 100 pounds, if you know that you, within 12 months, need to lose 100 pounds, that could seem crazy, especially if you've never lost weight before. But if you break it down to what that means for how much you have to lose every day, to lose every month. So we have like 100 pounds divided by 12 months. That's roughly 8 pounds per month, right? Or if you divide that by 4 weeks, you're looking at, to stay on track, you need to lose 2 pounds a week. Okay, that's under 1 kilo, under 1 kilo per week consistently that you need to hit. And over the course of 1, 2, 5, 7, 12 months, if you keep up that track and you keep up that pace, you lose 100 pounds. So small steps make big changes. So if you look at a goal you have and you think this is too big, too audacious, break it down. And you will find that it may not be as daunting as you think. And just with small, consistent actions every day, every week, it compounds. It has a compound effect over time. So I dare you to dream bigger, to set goals that are bigger than you think you can do, but break it down into smaller steps after you've put it through the SMART goal framework, and just see how you can measure that progress week over week. I love the weight loss. I have so much respect for people who are able to lose weight, because I've never had a problem with my weight personally, but it just seems like such an amazing journey to go through to completely change your life like that. So, but I love using the weight loss example because it's so tangible in terms of numbers. It has an easy tracking metric, and you can make some really healthy diet and physical changes pretty quickly if you just stick with it and you just work on those 2 pounds a week. So when you look at what you need to do in your goal, look at how you can break it down to measurable, tangible steps week over week, and then that's how you're going to start seeing some progress. It's not going to be easy, but that's life, and big things are not accomplished overnight, okay? I mean, they can be if you're Facebook and stuff, but typically hard work, determination, and grit. So thanks for this video. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you love this video or you have a comment, drop it below. We release content like this constantly, so be sure to subscribe and like this if you enjoy this sort of video. But apart from that, I'm Khierstyn, and we will see you next time.